The year was 1944. The Third Reich teetered on the precipice of defeat. The once mighty empire, which had once seemed invincible, was now crumbling under the relentless pressure of the Allied forces. The once invincible Wehrmacht reeled back on all fronts, their morale shattered and their resources dwindling. The soldiers, who had once marched with unyielding confidence, now found themselves in a desperate struggle for survival. Battered by the combined might of the Allies, the German forces were pushed back, their strongholds falling one by one. The skies were filled with the ominous roar of Allied bombers, raining destruction upon German cities. Hope dwindled with each passing day, replaced by a chilling certainty. Germany was losing the war. The streets, once bustling with life, now lay desolate, filled with the echoes of despair and the haunting silence of a nation on the brink of collapse. Germany was losing the war. The relentless advance of the Allied forces left a trail of devastation in its wake, and the German military, once feared and respected, was now a shadow of its former self. Yet amidst the ruins of a crumbling empire, a spark of defiance flickered. In the shadows, away from the prying eyes of the Gestapo, a small group of brave individuals began to plot against the Führer. A small, desperate group of men and women, driven by conscience and a fervent love for their homeland, dared to whisper of conspiracy. They met in secret, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of the risks they were taking, yet determined to act. They saw the abyss into which Hitler was dragging Germany and resolved to act. The Führer's reckless ambitions had brought nothing but ruin, and these brave souls knew that only by removing him could they hope to save their country. This was no ragtag band of malcontents. These were men of stature, decorated soldiers, respected officials. They were individuals who had once served the regime but had come to see the truth of its destructive path. These were men of stature, decorated soldiers, respected officials. They had earned their ranks through bravery and service, and now they were willing to risk everything to stop the madness that had consumed their nation. Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, a wounded war hero, became the face of the conspiracy. His resolve was unshakable, his determination fueled by the horrors he had witnessed on the battlefield. General Friedrich Olbricht, a logistical mastermind, lent his organizational skills. His meticulous planning and strategic acumen were crucial to the success of their daring plot. Ludwig Beck, a former chief of staff, provided strategic guidance. His experience and insight were invaluable, and his commitment to the cause was unwavering. Together they formed the nucleus of a resistance movement, united by their loathing of Hitler and their determination to salvage Germany from utter destruction. Their meetings were filled with tense discussions and careful planning, each step taken with the utmost caution. Their target was the embodiment of the Nazi regime, Adolf Hitler himself. They knew that only by eliminating the Führer could they hope to dismantle the oppressive regime that had brought so much suffering. Their weapon, a bomb, smuggled into the heart of the Nazi beast, the Wolf's Lair, Hitler's heavily guarded headquarters in East Prussia. The plan was audacious, fraught with danger, but it was their best hope. Their plan? Operation Valkyrie, a contingency plan originally designed to quell internal unrest, now twisted to serve a far different purpose: the elimination of the Nazi regime. The plan was complex, requiring precise coordination and unwavering resolve. They knew the risks, the near impossible odds of success. Each meeting was a gamble, each step a potential death sentence. Yet they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and a glimmer of hope. Discovery meant certain death, brutal and merciless. The Gestapo's reach was long, and their methods were ruthless. The conspirators knew that failure was not an option, yet driven by a desperate hope for Germany's salvation, they pressed forward, their whispers of conspiracy growing louder, bolder as the day of reckoning approached. The stakes were high, but their resolve was unbreakable. The weight of a nation rested on their shoulders, the fate of millions hanging in the balance. They knew that their actions could change the course of history, and they were willing to pay the ultimate price. Their courage, born of desperation and fueled by a flicker of hope, would forever mark them as heroes, even as the shadow of the gallows loomed large. Their legacy would endure, a testament to the power of conviction and the enduring human spirit. July 20th, 1944, a day etched in history, a day that would forever be remembered for its audacity and its ultimate failure. This day is forever intertwined with the fate of the Third Reich, a regime that cast a long shadow over Europe. The air hung heavy with humidity, mirroring the tension that gripped the conspirators. Each breath was a struggle, each moment a test of their resolve. Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, carrying the bomb disguised as a briefcase, arrived at the Wolf's Lair for a meeting with Hitler and other high-ranking officials. His mission was clear, his purpose unwavering. His nerves were steel, his resolve unwavering. He knew the risks, yet he was driven by a vision of a world free from tyranny. He placed the briefcase under the table, near Hitler, the clock ticking down to a moment that could reshape history. Every second felt like an eternity. An urgent call summoned Stauffenberg away, a calculated move to distance himself from the blast. He walked out, his heart pounding, knowing that the next few minutes would determine the future. He left the room, the fate of the Nazi regime hanging precariously on the explosives hidden within the briefcase. The bomb detonated, a moment of sheer chaos. A thunderous roar ripped through the wolf's lair, sending splinters of wood and concrete flying. The force of the explosion was immense, shaking the very foundations of the building. Smoke billowed, obscuring the carnage within. The room was a scene of utter devastation, filled with the acrid smell of burning materials. Stauffenberg, witnessing the explosion from afar, felt a surge of hope. Could this be the end of Hitler's reign of terror? Had they succeeded? Had Hitler finally met his end? These questions raced through his mind as he awaited confirmation. He raced back to Berlin, rallying his co-conspirators, putting Operation Valkyrie into action. The plan was to seize control of the government and end the war. Orders were issued, troops mobilized, the machinery of a coup set in motion. It was a race against time, a desperate bid to change the course of history. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. The explosion, though powerful, had not killed Hitler. The coup faltered, and the dream of a free Germany slipped away. The success of the July 20th plot held the potential to drastically alter the course of World War II. A world without Hitler, a world where the Nazi regime had been decapitated, offered a glimmer of hope in the darkness. The ramifications of such a monumental event would have rippled across the globe, altering not just the immediate outcome of the war, but the very fabric of international relations and power dynamics. The war, already stretching into its 5th year, could have ended sooner, sparing countless lives. The relentless bombings, the grueling battles, and the widespread destruction might have been curtailed, offering a reprieve to war-weary soldiers and civilians alike. The Allied forces, bogged down in fierce fighting on multiple fronts, might have found themselves facing a less determined, less fanatical enemy. The morale of the German military, already strained, could have crumbled without the iron grip of Hitler's leadership. The negotiations for peace, inevitable in the face of German defeat, could have unfolded differently, potentially reshaping the post-war world. The terms of surrender might have been more favorable, leading to a different geopolitical landscape in Europe and beyond. The horrors of the Holocaust, still unfolding with ruthless efficiency, might have been curtailed, saving millions from the gas chambers and crematoria. The liberation of concentration camps could have come sooner, sparing countless lives and alleviating some of the immense suffering endured by the victims. The very fabric of Europe, torn apart by years of brutal conflict, might have begun to heal sooner, spared from the enduring scars of Nazi occupation. The rebuilding process, both physically and emotionally, could have started earlier, leading to a quicker recovery for the war-torn continent. The world held its breath, the fate of millions hanging precariously on the outcome of this audacious act of defiance. The tension was palpable, as people from all corners of the globe watched and waited, hoping for a swift end to the tyranny that had engulfed Europe. But the hope was fleeting, crushed beneath the heavy weight of reality. The dream of a world free from Hitler's grasp was shattered, leaving behind a sense of despair and a grim determination to continue the fight. The conspirators' gamble, their desperate attempt to change the course of history, was about to unravel, the consequences of their failure both immediate and far-reaching. Their bravery, though ultimately unsuccessful, remains a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of overwhelming odds.